Tommy, and I am here to announce with Tommy and all the other babies. Come here. I don't know if I could get them all in here on me. I don't know if I could do this with all of them on me at one at a time, so we will just, can you say hello? Hi. Hello, aunties, mummies, and auntie papas. It's me, Connie. Yes, he has his little one sleeper on. They're all in their sleepers for a reason. Because he smells so good. Okay, let's see if I could tell them all. See if I could do this one-handed here. Because Cindy, the administrator, came in and I did ask her the question. We have one more check off with the fire department, and that is the final inspection. While that is doing the final inspection, they're totally remodeling our place. They're just going through the painting, and they are also painting the outside of our building too. So they are doing that right now as I speak. So it's not like when they also give the okay on the final inspection, we're probably going to hop on the bus and run home, because they are cleaning up the mess that was done when they went through the roof and put in the sprinkler system too. So they're cleaning and painting. I don't know how much of a mess it is right now, but they are doing in the process of painting all that up. So I can imagine, I guess, I could be a good sport and imagine all that. Can we be good sports? Kenny? Yeah, Mommy, I can be a good sport. Yes, we can. So, I suppose, apparently we're getting new carpet too, so I don't know. So, I was really hoping to go home this week. By today, I was really feeling it, wishing it, and I guess I would have to remind myself, you know something? It's really not my will. No, it is. Uh-oh. No, we can't have that, little Kenny. No. That's not yours, honey. Let's put you over here with little brother. But Mommy, I want it. It's not yours to play with. Okay, so we're gonna have some little, let's put this on a little pause here. So I don't know where to put it. Oh my goodness. Where did we do that? Here we go. Okay, so now I went and I got little Maddie while we were on that little thing. They were trying to get the little mousey, or little Kenny was trying to get the mouse, so I went and I got little Maddie. Now, I packed up all their little things and we are in their little sleepers, and this is about it as far as I got them all ready and ready to go. Now, how did Maddie get your binky in your little mouth, Hey, Mommy, because I need it. Because she's older? Well, at least it's attached. But I packed up this huge bag. Remember the bag that came with the tripod? That is totally full of baby clothes. I squished everything in there that I could possibly squish with their baby items, and the names all over it, my room number at the other buildings all over it, so it cannot be misguided to another room. So we are ready for the babies to go. We are ready. Come here, little Benjamin. We are a little ready for little Benjamin to go. Look at him. He's all warm in his little hat. We had to put a little hat on him. Cause he's just so tiny. So he's got to have his little hat on too. We don't have a little hat for you to put on with your little bald head. You know, I think one day I'm going to root her with some pretty little hair. I don't know if I want it to be, you know, might be curly. I think she just might be the little curly type with light brown hair. I don't know. It's going to be one of those jobs. So I'm learning to be patient over here, guys. And I just have to remember, this is not my will, this is God's will. And God's will is the perfect will, not my will. So I have to remember to be patient. But I went ahead and I already packed up all the children's clothes. I got them completely ready. So I figured with this time, what am I going to do with my time? Well, I also play Sims. Without Sims, I don't think I'd be sane. Really, I probably will, but I mean, it just really expands my imagination to where I am not in a limited facility that keeps me grouped in here to where I don't play. If it wasn't for these babies and my imagination with my babies and also playing Sims to where I'm having babies. By the way, on Sims, I'm pregnant again with my 5th child. You know, I don't know if it could be twins or not, I don't know. Because my last babies are still babies, they're older babies, and they're gonna have to be grown up a little bit to toddlers because they're twins. And it's little Bobby Joe and Joanna. And so that is with my Westington ones. I have not actually put that online. I do have another channel, Fantastic Sims. And I decided to go ahead and keep my channel. Let me put you in here. Oh, God bless. Wait a minute. Mama just loves you. I decided to keep, everybody's worried about their names and what is YouTube gonna do. I have been reading all that. And basically they're protecting the younger children and the younger generation as far as what they watch on our channel and stuff. So basically, if there is a problem, they said, go ahead and just press the easiest thing to do is just press the channel restriction. So that's what I did. At first I put on this whole thing on, you know, anyone younger than, you know, 14, blah, blah, blah. This whole age limit about reborns or for grown-ups and blah, blah, blah. This whole disclaimer. And then when I went back and I'm reading the YouTube rules and everything really carefully, and, you know, the new rules and everything. And I'm reading about it's really not out to hurt anyone or to shut down channels or anything. If it is, you know, anything, you know, that we doubt or anything like that, that is aimed towards children, but we are, that, you know, that is not really intended for children, but that's for grown-ups basically, but it has something that indicates children, that could be a problem. But go ahead and hit the restricted channel. That easy. And then they can't get to it. That easy, you guys. And so I just went ahead and I thought, wow. So I just put ahead and I went back to the studio, the Sims editor studio, grouped my whole entire 111 videos and just hit the restricted mode, and it was so easy. And I did that with my Sims, Fantastic Sims too, and because some of my stories does have a murder in there, and I don't want them to go ahead, I don't want to find my Sims all of a sudden obliterated in there, and there's no more Sims, because I love to play. And you know what? Most grown-ups love to play. There's an 84-year-old granny that plays, and she's playing these, you know, I love her channel, by the way. And that's me. That's me at 84, by the way. I'm gonna be playing those. And that's my outlet. I love creating stories. I love creating baby stories. I love my little babies. And I love changing their diapers. Yes. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. So I just put the age restricted limit thing on there. And now I can just do what I want on there and not have to worry. So I don't bully no one, I don't judge no one. I love this community so much. I love my friends out there, you know, and I'm gonna start a different thing on my shout outs. I'm gonna start shouting out to those who comment, because those comments mean a lot to me. I don't feel so lonely when I'm being commented on, because I love going to other channels, and I know those comments mean a lot to you, and those comments also mean a lot to me too. I want you to know that. So I think I'm going to start doing the shout outs to those people who are commenting on me too. And I will be visiting those channels a lot more, to the people who are commenting to me. Not to say I won't go out and expand and you know, look at other channels, which I do, because I just love the baby community, but I will look at more. Now I'm still limited here as far as I'm not home, so I'm still not able to send little happy friendly cards, because I love making homemade cards. There's just little things that I like to do and I'm not able to send out. So it comes from the bottom of my heart. My cash flow is very limited from the state. You know, I only get $19 a month right now. And that's not 1900, guys. Just to let you know. But and you know, because it's the state, it's just the way it is. But you know something, I'm very grateful for that, because I make it stretch. I know how to make my money work for me. I know how to work wish.com. And I have a money garden that got me this out of my special needs fund. I'm very blessed by my Father in heaven. So I will not go around begging. I will earn what I do, because I am an artist. So I sell my paintings. I do it honestly of what I do. Those things that are gifted to me come from those other people's hearts, and I finally, for the first time this year, learned to receive it with love and graciousness, and know that for the first time in my life I am loved. And that was an unbelievable lesson to learn, that I am loved. Not because I was given something, but it was hard. That was hard for me to learn, that I was loved, because I was thrown away so many times in my life, by my family, by my husband, by my mother, by my sisters, by my children. One came back, Amy, my daughter, and I get to see my grandkids, but only on the video right now. I'm not allowed to see her. But that's the way it is, you know, just under the state circumstances. I'm protected. I've been through a lot of abuse in my life, guys. I am I am in the 1 percentile of survivalists. But I'm not crazy, guys. I survived it. pause on this one. I'm going to pause. I wanted Cynthia for this one. And it's beautiful, guys. This is the one that really I love her so much. I thought society did not want me at all because my mother threw me away. You know, I lived on the streets with my other sisters and brothers. We slept in dumpsters, ate out of trash cans. We waited for people to finish in the park their picnics. And I was raped and molested, and I was held by gunpoint, and just for fun, my sister and I, while we held on to each other so tightly, the man or whoever he was, bigger than us, shot down by our feet so he can watch us, the fear in us. So we went through a whole lot in Compton. I don't like Compton, California. And from what I hear, it just hasn't changed. But the side that I grew up on was really, really bad, and no one came out to help you, no. So my sister and friends and I, we were kidnapped and brought to a hotel, and they took me in another room and forced me to do some very obscene things while I was held at knife point at my throat, and my sister was shown the blanket, you know, was pulled over with a load of weapons. And some disruption happened with my friends to where we managed to run out the door. But that wasn't the first time this group of people got us in the truck. And ever since then, I have this remnants back every time I see those kind of trucks, these beat up trucks with the wood on the sides. And taking us to a warehouse where they have their way with us. And one time when they weren't taking us home, and I knew they weren't, and so we jumped out the back of the truck in Compton. Yeah. And then the laundromat was being raided, or not raided, but robbed. And the police, and there was gunfire, so we were kind of like hiding in the alley. So when that was done, we went to my friend's house, and then that's when my mother just happened to be home after all those months. Not home, but with her, this lady, which was their mother, because they were looking for her daughter, which is my friend. And informed my mother that we have been being raped and kidnapped and molested. So that went to the federal courts, and that's the first time I ever went to a court like that as a witness. And that was the first time I actually despised my mother, because I remember being so frightened, and I remember her slapping me, making me go in that courtroom. And I remember having to point him out, and it was just so awful. And I remember his last words, when he gets out, he's gonna kill us. But, you know, of course, I'm still here, so he never did. So, and, so eventually, my mother left again, left us gone. She never took care of us. So I don't know why the state didn't take us. That's beyond me. So I don't know what lies were told, and I don't know. That could have been, I don't remember why I was slapped. That could have been a reason. I don't know. But I do know that he did get out, and we started running and hiding. And finally my little sister was almost hit by a police car, and that's when we were found. And let me tell you, some foster carers shouldn't have a license. Nope. So we went to one foster care, and I loved her so much. I remember her making me cream of wheat and sliced up oranges, and she bought me and my sister a purple little dress, and she was big and fat and loving, but we couldn't stay with her because she was black. Well, I wanted her to be my mama. I loved her. So they took us out, gave us back to our mother. And the same thing happened again. I left alone. And they'd come back in through the back room. We'd start praying in that back room, drawing flowers all over the wall and praying that God would, you know, have mercy on us. So when we were found the last time, that's when they took us, and it just felt like they were taking us like little lost puppies, you know, to new owners. Anyway, so we went to foster homes again, and my sister, it hurt me so bad. It was like she never knew me, and I was really picked on in that home. And I never felt like I belonged there, and I just tried so hard to belong that I was out of place. So I left there, went to a different foster home, and we ended up getting my little sister, and that was a different type of abuse where they would hit us and then they'd take pictures. That was really weird. And she never had children, and he would kind of sexually assault us. So things happen in life. Yeah, they do happen, don't they? So I'm not going to go over the rest of the in-between of all that sexual stuff. But that gets really old, you know. It does. So because of all that anyway, I don't know if I was born that way or whatever, but I am what's called asexual. I hate sex. I don't like it. But when I did get married, I had to have it because I wanted a real baby. I wanted to put diapers on someone. I wanted to love it as my very own, and I wanted a baby. I wanted lots and lots of children. So I married someone, and I had my firstborn, and then he wanted a divorce because he says I was still like a little girl. Okay. I guess it was from all that post-traumatic stress, I don't know. But then he regretted it. Their baby. She said, I want one, Mommy. I know you do. And then I married my other husband, and I loved him, and I still do, till death do us part. But I got in a car accident, and I wasn't the same anymore. So I was an artist. Let's see, I was an artist when I married him. We built the business together. And I worked it from the home. It's like I still, raised the children from the home and everything. But I was broken. So we got a honey across the lake. And I was pawned off with this lady who loved me, and she took advantage of my motherly emptiness, I guess you could say. Adopted me and put my finances in her name. But he didn't know that. My side, yes. And also, a life insurance policy. That was very interesting, yeah. So I'm writing a book about that called Purple Rose. So that's already registered in the Library of Congress. So that's an ongoing long thing. So I'm on chapter 7. And sometimes I just really have to break from it because, go through my counseling on that. I'm not too bad from what she used to do to me. The psychological, when I had my brain injury went on impact, it just impacted me so bad to where I was really like a little kid. And it was like, wow, I didn't know who my husband was at first, or the kids, wow, we have kids, and it was, I was a totally different person. And what set me off, then she started schooling me, and then I started schooling my children because I wanted to know who they are. So it was like a ripple effect. And let me tell you, I fell in love with my kids, but I think my kids were being a little bit brainwashed by him of what type of a mother I was. And when I look back at all the videos that I had, and I regret giving them to him because I asked him if he'd make DVDs out of the videos for us. I sat and I cried because I'll tell you, I was a very good mother, and I was a good wife. Yeah. So I think it's his loss. And now I go on because I ended up getting a job at Walmart. No. He pawned me off on this lady. Like I said, she adopted me. And I was, okay, you guys ready for this? Because this is hard. I was her slave. And her partner, her honey, her boy toy, whatever you want to call them, I was their slave. So and I was their kitty slave. So now it really gave me a bad taste of ever owning a cat. They had a lot of cats. About 5 or 6 cats. I have my 2 journals on that whole incident. In the last tape of the beatings they used to do on me, I started taping them. I did talk her into letting me go to a community college instead of her teaching me. And that's when I found out what she was doing with me is called human trafficking, and my heart fell to the floor. Oh my God, that's me. And I didn't know what to do. Who would believe that? Who would believe it? I honestly believe that not everybody, that she had people watching me whenever I left the house, that I had to go straight, to school, straight home. If, that everything I owned was hers. We lived on 5 acres, on a 5-acre horse farm with no horses, because they got rid of the horses and made it into his working thing. And my art studio was moved out there. Remember, I've told you I was an artist before, but yet she would never let me paint. All that was stopped. I was a writer. She'd never let me write. Any gift that I have was frozen, because she did not want to be outshined. It was she was a very evil woman, and I never saw it, and until later. Yeah, I have nightmares still. Some of the things he sexually harassed me, and her excuse was that was called, she says that is Poppy's love. I didn't, everything was, and then this, the ironic thing is right across the road from us. Now, our mailbox was a half-a-mile driveway to get to our mailbox, but across this road was actually was called My Sister's Safe Haven, where I could have ran from this torture, and it was torture, and it was a board that you'd get beat from. Where's it gonna be? I don't know if I could show you this, about this long. Okay. And that wide. And the handle was handleable, about that wide. And the beatings were bare skin, because she liked to see the bruises. I thought she was very sadistic on that. So I started taping these beatings because I didn't think anyone would believe me. And I had 4 tapes. I think 5, well, I have 2, but I have the 4th one that never went to the court, and it was the worst of all. And I still have that to this day. Yeah. So she went to court. They were played in the courts. It was an awful thing, an awful, awful thing. So yeah, I survived these things. I forgive my husband. I think she was his ticket out of the marriage, because here I am, a brain injured person. He did buy me, he had to, of course, settle, so I got a 5-bedroom house with 3 big bathrooms and everything, and of course she took over all that, I ended up losing everything, of course. No one taught me anything as far as financial, so it was a very beautiful home. And if I had the right help for my brain injury and everything, I could have been set up pretty nice, but I didn't. But I could go over there and dwell on this. So anyway, when I got away from her, I would move to the beach right away, and so my ex had to buy me also out of a business that I had started with them. So I moved to the beach and across the street from the beach. I always wanted to live at the beach. When I turned 50, I was so happy to turn 50 because I was a half a century old. I was thrilled, so I went and celebrated and bought myself a convertible Beetle. That's my dream car. Heated seats, remote, everything. Loved it. And I got a job at Walmart because I always wanted to work, not in a business with my ex, but real work. I loved it so much I didn't even know I got paid, and I did, and it was just so thrilling. I'm like, why are all these people standing in line? It's payday. Oh my gosh, we get paid. It was so thrilling. And of course, then it went to, I got mine automatically deposit because I would forget we get paid. So then, with the brain injury, it was a little bit different. I get tired so easily. So I started drinking these Monster drinks, anything that was caffeinated to keep me going. And I just went from overnight stalking. I just loved organizations. That was one thing I had going for my brain injury. I loved organizing so much. So I went from there and I moved up so fast in my levels to within 2 years of that. I was in, no, not even 2 years. Was it 2 years? Like a year and a half. I went into management to a level 7. Went right into, department manager's level 6. I went right into the level 7 management, the part to where it would have been assistant manager into a store. So I went into supervising management. And I loved every bit of it. I knew how to treat the employees because I read Sam Walton's book. And I loved his theory, and his theory was so true. You treat your employees really good and they're going to treat you good. And that's what I believed. So I'd go get them candy and drinks. You bet you believe it. And I set up a theory, my own theory of how to do the back room to get the trucks unloaded at an unfathomable, timely manner. So now I was going to be promoted to assistant manager because of that. And that's when my baby daughter her husband called me and told me that my baby daughter, Katie's really, really sick. They just had their baby and they need me. Okay, now here's where the brain injury comes in. Now I think back and I'm thinking, well, you should have your mother come and help since she lives right there. What he was asking me is to give up my apartment, my job, my promotion and everything. But I wasn't thinking, so I dropped everything and I transferred over to them and went down to a level 3. And she wasn't even sick. She was just a spoiled little thing with the baby. So I had to wait 6 months to get moved again. So that's when I just moved back to Morrisville. I'm just going on and on, aren't I, guys? Telling you my whole life story. Oh my goodness. Are you bored? I'm so sorry. So anyways, that's how I got to Morrisville, and then voila. I decided not to move back in my house because a friend of mine asked if I'd stay with her mother, and I adored her mother. So I did, but I started having some mini strokes, you guys, and let me tell you something. Woe to those strokes. You just your whole half of you goes numb and you're you don't know what's going on. So I had about 6 of them and I ended up at the Bryan Center. And it just made me worse, and that's why I'm here today. So I ended up in a wheelchair and I couldn't walk. So I'm like, Lord, how do you expect for me to help you? How do you expect for me to do your work if I'm in a wheelchair? Then I remembered it's not my will, it's His will. So, I don't work anymore. I am disabled because of the brain injury now. And what is my work, I guess? I don't know. To love, I don't know. I guess I just ask for His will to be done each day. That's all I could do. I still love my ex. I will love him till death do us part. I would never have done that to him. I forgive him. And I forgive the people who beat me and did this to me, because my God is greater and His will is perfect. He can take a nightmare and turn it into His glory. So I'm going to just quit boring you guys, and I just want you to know, I guess that's my testimony. You know, if it wasn't for Him, I guess I wouldn't have given a testimony next to my friend's bed when he was dying and guided him into salvation. So I wouldn't have met so many lovely older people and told them about Christ. So you know what? Glory be to Him. And so that's why we wait. So I don't know how it came to this testimony. I love these babies. I love meeting you guys. And like I said, I'm going to play some Sims a while, and I'll probably be looking at your videos and commenting, and I'll probably do some shout outs of those who shout out, or not shout out, those who comment to me. I'll probably do a Sunday shout out, they call it, Sunday shout outs. I don't want to do anything on the Sabbath. I'm not a Seventh-day Sabbath or anything like that. I am a Bible-believing, last-day worshiper in spirit. I do what the glory of God tells me to do in those Bibles. I believe that there are other missing Bibles. I love to read them. I love the Father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob with all my heart and soul. I love His Son who died on the cross to save me for my sins with all my heart and my soul. I am so thankful for that. He paid the price to rip that curtain apart so we can talk to our Father. Praise God. I love the Holy Spirit, and I know Christ is coming again. I believe in the rapture. I do believe with all my heart. Thank you guys for listening, and God bless you, and you have an awesome day.